Hey guys, welcome back. I've got another video on another firearm from a former Eastern Bloc country, from this time from Slovakia. This is a Grand Power Stribog, and this was a little bit of a stretch for me. Normally, I don't. I've never really been that interested in pistol caliber carbines, PCCs, whatever you want to call them. Uh, so this was a little different for me, but I will say this thing is an absolute riot to shoot. It is so much fun. I don't have much footage of me shooting this. I may put in a video of some friends that I've shot it, but we'll see. So this is mostly just going to be a tabletop benchtop review of this and just some of my thoughts on it. I'm not going to go into all the specifications or technical details so much. That information's all out there. Just more so my thoughts on it. There's a lot of different things, modifications, things like that that you can do with these, and they're a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. I don't know in terms of practicality if this is maybe the most practical firearm you could own, whether it be self-defense, whatever the case may be. Although it certainly could be. It just depends on preference and whatnot. So there's a few versions of this out now. Now this one is it's not the original or anything. But it is not the newer roller delayed styled ones. This is the SP9A1. So this one is just a simple blowback, which I actually, honestly, for something like this, I don't mind at all. And this one does not have a reciprocating charging handle. So you can see here, charging handles up towards the front here. And when you're shooting it, of course, you can put your thumb there. It's not going to come back and break any bones or anything like that. So really, the first one did have a reciprocating charging handle, and I, that would be, in my opinion, not fun to shoot because there's not much of a handguard up here to begin with, just because of the shorter barrel. And then, at some point in time, you're really going to want to put, a thumb or something up there. So to me, the only realistic way that I would buy something like this is if it was non-reciprocating. So very cool design. I really like the looks of it. It's very simple. Kind of looks like some of the B&Ts, things like that. But it still kind of has its own aesthetic, I would say. A lot of people consider these kind of the budget PCC. I don't. There's certainly, you can spend a lot less than this. I find this more middle ground. Isn't anything incredibly fancy. There's some things on it that are, definitely a little more budget oriented, but especially the upper portion it's actually very nice. It's very well finished. All the everything is very smooth. All the engravings are very nice, and it's just a very interesting firearm. So, I really like some of the detail they put on here. Once again, like the AREX Global Ordnance imports these, and then you can see Stribog, the logo there, and then I'm not sure if that's Grand Power or specific for the Stribog, and then you have it again back here, different logo, and of course you have Grand Power made in Slovakia, just right across the border from the Czech Republic. So there again, Grand Power made in Slovakia. I mentioned in the AREX Delta video that I wish they would have done a little more branding, and I think Grand Power does a pretty good job of that. So all metal upper. The lower is completely polymer, with obviously the exception of some of the mechanicals. That being the trigger, the mag release, the bolt release, bolt catch, and then some of the internals. Breakdown is very similar to an AR-15. Just have a push pin back here. I won't show it, but you just push that through. You can open it up. Very simple disassembly. Cleaning all of that is very, very easy. Of course, being an 8-inch barrel, this is considered a pistol, so you do need some kind of brace on it. This is I forget, it's an SB Tactical, but I forget the actual the designation of it, but it's okay. I wouldn't want it on anything more substantial than this because it does have a lot of flex and whatnot, a little more so than some of the other pistol braces. But 1913 pick rail back there to attach it on, so very simple. And there's a lot of other options, especially if you want to do an SBR on this. There are 2 or 3 companies I know out there that make upgraded lowers. I think most of them, some of them are polymer, some are aluminum. Most of them, or if not all of them, make it so you can put on a tradition or an AR-15 style grip. This one's okay, but I will say the lower is definitely this portion where you can tell they saved a little bit of money. It's just it's not what I would call a flimsy plastic because it's actually very solid. There's no flex anywhere. Actually, it's actually very thick, very substantial, but definitely does not have the nicest looking finish, and the molding's a little, I don't know, just not really fitting to the rest of the firearms. So that is pretty popular upgrade is to upgrade the lower, and then you can get some that take different magazines, whether it's Glock magazines. Some of the aftermarket ones, that is, I believe you can get CZ Scorpion magazines, and then there's a few other magazine types you can get. That is probably one of the biggest downsides to the Stribogs. The blowback ones this has been totally reliable. I have had no issues with this. I have several hundred rounds through this. These things are uh, bullet eaters. It's very easy to. They're so much fun to shoot. They're very easy to go through a lot of rounds at the range. But it's been totally reliable. The main issue comes with the magazines. Now, I believe these are probably the second or third generation or iteration of the Stribog magazine, and they've had a couple come out since then. And I believe Global Ordnance actually within the last month came out with an even newer design. And with these, I think the only issue with this particular, the curved mag, is some people I think maybe report some cracking or some issues with the feed lips here up at the top. I haven't had any issues, but it sounds like they only really start having issues after you have some pretty heavy rounds through them, over 1,000 or 2,000 rounds through them. But for me, this has been totally reliable. It's been a non-issue. Um, some of the controls on this, everything's going to be fairly familiar. Safety, of course, right here. It is an ambidextrous safety, and that is one of my complaints on it is it's full size over here. So when you grip this, it really it wants to run into it wants to hit your hand if it's over there. It's not a big deal. It's not violent or anything. It's not like my CZ Brand 2, which was actually very painful. The mag release is on both sides, just where you would expect it to be. It actually operates a little easier on this side, but that's pretty negligible. That's probably more just me noticing. Trigger on the factory Stribog is very good. So I will just show you here. We are clear. So it is a single stage trigger. It does have, I don't know what you would call it. There is an initial stage to it. And then there is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of creep. And then, I mean, we're talking probably less than a millimeter. And then there it is. And then it breaks. It's very crisp. Breaks very nice. The reset's really quick on it. And very nice trigger. So, that's one thing a lot of people do like. Now, if you upgrade the lower to some of the others, I believe it's AT3 Tactical and Lingo, I believe. I could be getting that wrong. I believe those you can put AR-15 triggers in them. So something to consider if you want. You probably put a couple extra $100 into it. And I think it would be an upgrade. The grip's not terrible. It's not my favorite. But for what this is, it's perfectly fine for me. The other big issue or complaint people have about the Stribogs is the bolt catch or the bolt release. It's not very substantial. It's just this little shelf down here. It's on both sides. You can buy upgrades for this. Personally, I don't have too many issues, and honestly, the charging handle is right here. A lot of times I just use that if I need to. course, pick rail up top, kind of something cool. So this actually has two styles of um, iron sights, whatever you want to call them. So this might be a little tricky to see, but if you you can see that little notch up there, that is actually similar to something like you would see on a pistol. Um, there's a little notch there, and then same up front. So it's see if I can get some focus here. And then there are also some flip up sights. So obviously I've got an optic up there, but if you needed to, they're built right into the top rail there, which is very cool. They are polymer, although I think you can upgrade those to metal if you really wanted to. It comes with a second set of them in the box, new from the factory. It actually comes in a pretty nice hard case, um, much like you would get a normal pistol. It's kind of like the Beretta cases, if you know what those look like. But it's obviously quite a bit bigger. So it's actually kind of cool. It comes in that. I still use that case when I take this to the range, which is not like most other gun cases. Um, because of the blowback, some people don't really, they think that this, they'll say that this recoils heavily. I've heard people say you would think you're shooting a 308. That's pretty exaggerated. It does, it does want to, I would describe it as jump or hop. It kind of, you know, there's a lot of movement to it, but it's not heavy recoil. It's not like your shoulder is going to be black and blue after shooting it all day. Not that, of course, you would ever put your pistol brace on your shoulder. We would never do that. So don't worry about that. If you read or hear about that, oh, it's the recoil's heavy for a 9mm. It Yes, it does jump around a little bit, but it's not like shooting a big 30 caliber 308 or 30-06. It's nothing like that. It just jumps around a little bit more. But overall, even the blowback ones are pretty easy to shoot fast if you want, which is kind of this kind of what this is for, I would say. This isn't really a target gun. I've shot it out to about 50 yards or so, and that's pretty easy. I have a prism optic, which is probably a little unconventional, but it's a Vortex, just a one power, has a circle reticle on there, which is perfect for up close. Um, you know, something like this. So overall, would I recommend this? I've shot a few other 9mm pistol caliber carbines, and I will say this one definitely, in my opinion, feels a little better than some of like the AR9s and whatnot. Those are fine, but this feels a little more like this was purpose built from the ground up to be a pistol caliber carbine. So I think that is interesting. Um, I also, Grand Power makes some very nice firearms. A lot of people kind of just brush them off as being kind of a maybe a budget brand or anything like that. I can say I see a lot of similarities between Grand Power and their neighbor right across the border in Czech Republic, CZ. So take that for what you will. That's just my opinion. I've got a lot of experience with both of them. So uh, they make very quality firearms, and you would be very happy with something like this. A lot of fun to shoot at the range. Um, Probably not something I would use for home defense. It would be ideal, and for that, or at least it would seem. My biggest qualm with that is if you did ever have to use it, something like this, if it ever made it to a courtroom, this is going to look a little, to non-gun people, this is going to look scary versus just a regular pistol or a shotgun or something like that. This is going to look more evil. What are you doing with that? That is literally my only qualm with using this as a home defense weapon. Some people may not care about that. That's perfectly fine. If it comes down to it, yeah, I'm going to use whatever I can get my hands on first. So um, I think that's all I have on the Grand Power Stribog. Really like it. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it if you guys had never tried one, anything like that. It kind of just looks like it's a really cool looking gun. It just really is. I don't know how else to describe it. It just kind of makes me, it just gives you those cool European, MP5 kind of vibes to it. It's well made. It's very well finished. I love all the markings they have on it, all the detail. It's just I would consider this just a flat out a very high quality firearm for not a ton of money. Usually these are around the $700 to $800 mark, and then they go up from there depending on if you get the newer versions that are roller delayed, things like that. But I would say if you're just looking for a fun gun, something to take to the range, just stick with the basic, blowback ones. If you want to, if you think you're going to shoot it that much more, you're a little more serious about your pistol caliber carbines, sure, go for the roller delayed. I have not shot one, so I can't say. I don't have an opinion on that, but this is a lot of fun. This is a riot to shoot. So I'll wrap this video up. It's getting a little too long. Uh, yeah, comment below if you have one of these or if you have any questions on it, and I'd love to answer them or hear from you. Thank you.